Okay, we have a VTX 1300C here. This is a 2004 model. This is one of my favorite motorcycles ever made, especially being in the budget range. It is not perfect, and people need to address some of those things. One of the first things is the kickstand cannot seem to be kicked out with your foot, at least not by me or anyone else that's ever been on it. Uh, it pretty much does not like being driven unless it is warmed up. You will have to pull the choke out a little bit. It seems to not like gasoline with ethanol in it. So my fuel prices are a little slightly higher. I recently went to the dark side and I realized that it sucked primarily because of my gas mileage went from 140 before hitting reserves to around 110. So if you look over there, there's my car tire that I pulled off of it. I have a Kenda Cruise on it. Just some hard bags that came with it. I really like the bike. The engine seems kind of noisy. Normally, I guess Honda just loves their solid valve train a lot. It just makes too much damn noise, in my opinion. I do love this bike. It is not perfect. The brakes are adequate. The power's adequate. I weigh 300 pounds and it still does 90 miles an hour. That's definitely good enough. I have Kenda Cruise front and rear, no complaints there. The front tire did not require any weight to balance. It stopped on a different point every time I spun on the axle. The back one did require some weight, maybe 4 or 5 ounces, somewhere around there to balance. I am quite opinion on dark siding now, and I'll make a different video on that. In my opinion, you'll probably have to do a jet kit. It probably runs pretty damn lean from the factory. The front end is kind of bouncy at speeds, but then again, I weigh 300 pounds. The back end seems to be pretty stiff, but then again, I have 40 pounds in the back tire, and I'm running on the next highest setting as far as load rating goes. The brakes are adequate. I have budget pads on the rear, and they are powerful enough to lock up the rear brakes, and they were powerful enough to lock up the car tire when I had the car tire on here. I really like this bike a lot. I think they're budget motorcycles, and they come with peculiarities. They are carbureted, and carburation has its drawbacks, but it is very easy to repair. No fuel pump, it can't possibly fail. Shaft drive, there's no cushion engagement. Downshifting, upshifting. Your first to second shift, man, you better shift like you mean it. There's a big gap there. It's this VTX is a beautiful tractor, in my opinion. Speedometer is about 8% higher than normal. Big, beautiful tank. I love a big bike with a big, beautiful tank that's like 5 gallons, close to 5 gallons. I would like to have an 8-gallon tank, but then again, I've watched Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man too many times, and that's why you want an 8-gallon tank. Your toolkit is underneath there. It's got a few things. What else is unique about this thing? The exhaust, it's a little too tame. Could be opened up a bit. Same thing with the intake. There's not much of an intake sound. It must go through a lot of baffles before it gets used. The heat shield here rattles against this bolt here. Kind of annoying, but you really only hear it starting up. The headlight is it's an incandescent bulb, I believe. It's not the brightest. Could use improvement. Hopefully, Kenda Cruise tires hold up. They, in my opinion, are better option than going with Dark Side. Dark Side has its benefits. Those people are not complete lunatics. But the only thing about this bike I just can't absolutely stand is the kickstand. You look like an absolute dork having to reach down and pull it out with your hand. You should be able to kick it out with your foot. But you can pick these things up very affordably. I think I got a deal on mine because I needed tires on it, and so he cut me a deal on it. And so I still have something a little more valuable than what I paid for. And in my opinion, in the working class world, that's pretty important. VTX is probably going to hold up as being a very solid vehicle, and don't be afraid to buy a 1300cc. The genuine benefit is you get dual front disc on the 1800, but then again the brakes feel fine on this thing, and I weigh 300 pounds. Have a good day, y'all.